Hey there, everyone. Welcome to a Watch Recap Live with Bobby Legs. Today being March 31st. It is Easter for us, most of us who celebrate Easter. So happy Easter to all of you. And if you're Greek, you probably celebrate Easter in a couple of weeks. And I'll wish you a happy Easter there. Anyway, this is where we talk about the latest releases from the previous week and whatever rumors or drama that's in the watch world. Not too much going on with there, thankfully, but we have a whole lot of releases this week in anticipation, I think, for Watches and Wonders, which is in about a week or 2 weeks. I think a lot of these brands that we're going to see today are trying to get these releases out there because sure enough, they'll be, overshadowed with the hype from Watches and Wonders. Anyway, before we get into it, and we got quite a few releases to explore, please subscribe, like, share, and tell anybody you can about the channel. I don't do watch reviews, paid watch reviews. I don't work with sponsors. I don't do sponsored video content. So your subscription really means a lot to me. And if you are a subscriber, I really appreciate it again. And thanks for being here. Let's say a quick hello. I see Wilson and Wolfgang in the chat. Let's get started with the first big release, I think, of the week. At least it caused quite a little bit of a storm for sure, was the Tudor collaboration with Beckham and the team the Miami Soccer Club in the MLS, and their colors being pink. Now, pink being a very, very decisive color, especially not really accustomed to seeing too many pink Kronos out there. Now, the Chrono here is basically the same watch that you can get stock with a panda and a reverse panda. You do have the 5-link bracelet here, which is a nice touch. I have to say, and this watch is going around 5,200, which is what it has been going for the other models. Although not really sure how this is going to be released. Probably boutique, I would imagine, right? Probably, maybe, I don't know if it's going to be officially limited, but they're probably not a lot of numbers here. I do have to say the pink does offer a pretty good contrast, and I think I've heard a lot of, I've heard some complaints about the white panda, that the contrast with the indices and especially the hands could be a little bit tricky. So at least you got some nice contrast here. And if you like pink and you like the Miami team and you like Beckham and you like Messi, maybe this is for you. I see Thomas. How you doing, Thomas? And Clayton from the Watchdog Podcast joining us here. Okay, moving on to our second release that we're going to touch upon is the Czapek Antartic. This beautiful blue dial in rose gold case and bracelet. If you choose to get the bracelet, I know they offer a rubber strap. I really, really like this release. Beautiful watch for sure. 14.5 millimeter case diameter, just under 11 millimeters thick. Dial is the lame finish and the CVD color, made for Czapek by Metalem. You got the caliber SXH5 in-house with a nice platinum micro rotor. If you get a chance to see, and I didn't put a picture here, but if you get a chance to see the case back and the movement finishing is just unbelievable. It's a limited run to 100 pieces a year. The bracelet's 18 karat gold with the integrated bracelet with Czapek's exclusive easy release system to swap the bracelet and whatnot. And so you also get here for around 55,000 on the gold bracelet and 32 with the rubber strap. Yeah, Thomas, the gold Antarctic is definitely amazing looking. Going on further here, we have the Chrono Swiss 2 Series. I really like this one. This is probably one of my favorite releases of the week. You have a horizontal regulator here, and it's just so beautifully done. I mean, kudos to Kronos. I know they get a lot of slack and people don't really pay attention to them. I think they're credited for doing the first regulator wristwatch back in the 90s. I could be wrong, but I think I've read that somewhere. Two very interesting dials. You got guilloche on the 9 o'clock dial, which is the seconds hand there, and a 40 millimeter case diameter. So a very, very nice size. You do have those straight lugs, which are, I know Kronos Swiss is Swiss made. They've had some roots in Germany. It's a very Germanic case design look with the lugs. But again, that's okay. The movement made by Lejeune Perret with the 55-hour power reserve. It's limited to 100 pieces each. I think for the price at 9,800 Swiss francs, I think this is a good looking watch. And you know, if I was independently wealthy and didn't care, I'd definitely pick up one of these. You know, just because, you know, I assume these prices will be, you know, although limited to 100 each, in about a year or two, you could probably see these for a little bit less. I don't know, maybe not. I don't know. I just think it's a really handsome looking watch, and we'd love to know what you guys think. Hey, Marceau is on the chat. Marceau, the video came out with his collector conversation with Tim Masso yesterday. Please check that out. Great video. Great to hear Marceau. I've seen him so many times on the chat in the last couple of years, and it was great to really hear his voice and describe the watches in his collection. So great job, Marceau. Very great job. One of my favorite collector conversations I've ever seen. Moving forward to the Arnold Sun Longitude Titanium. Now, for me, this looks like a totally different type of design style here from Arnold Sun. And maybe because they're going for more of a sporty look here. 42.5 millimeter case diameter, 12 and a quarter thickness, titanium brushed steel. Kind of an interesting looking watch. You have that power reserve at the 12 o'clock there with these little, you know, slits, you know, going and you know, calculating the or showing the what's left in the power reserve. So interesting that way. Somebody said that the hands were very Moser-esque. I could see that as well. A big, small seconds hand. Beautiful looking dial on the green. There's several other colors. You can also get this on a rubber strap. You have the Arnold Sun 6302 automatic COSC certified, moving with a 60-hour power reserve, 22 karat gold, open work rotor. The case back on this one and the work and the finishing is just brilliant. Integrated bracelet with folding clasp, brushed and polished, and of course the rubber straps. 88 pieces limited for the Kingston Gold, but the other ones are not. And you're looking from a price range of 22.6 for the Kingston Gold, 21.5, and these are all Swiss francs here. It looks like for the ocean blue and the fern green, and 32.6 rubber strap and the gold folding buckle. Okay, moving along. And we have the Singer Dive Track automatic 24-hour central diving chronograph. Singer known for their, I would say, their auto-inspired chronographs, right? And really exquisite or not exquisite, but eclectic kind of designs. A lot of center chronographs, and you have that here with this one. This is a diving chrono with a 49 millimeter case diameter, so it's really big, 20 millimeter case thickness. So it's a big watch, titanium case, maybe to give you a break at least with the weight, because that's a big piece of watch there, right? And you have that crown guard there for the chrono pusher. Dial is matte black, central 24-hour hand, as you can see there, very, very prominent. And it has the Eigengraph 24-hour chronograph moving with a 72-hour power reserve. It's limited to 25 pieces. Look, I mean, 85,000 Swiss francs. I mean, that's a lot of dough, right, for this. Just to give you a little context, you have a chill, dive, and fly in the middle of the dial there. So it does have, before I get to that, it does have jumping hour and jumping minutes. So you know. The chill zone, which I thought was kind of gimmicky, but then I read it a little bit further and it kind of explains it. And I guess okay, I get it. But the chill zone is the zone that helps you determine the surface interval before your next dive based on factors like previous dive duration, depth, and frequency. The dive indicates when you are clear to dive again, of course, after fulfilling the required surface interval. And the fly is the post dive that tells you the highlights in the safe window before flying to avoid health risks like pulmonary embolisms. Marceau in his video explained that he was a diver. I wonder if you would find this useful, Marcel, or not, or it's just a gimmicky. Anyway, moving forward, and Thomas, he says it looks a little bit like the Aquastar Benthos, and sure enough, here's the Aquastar Benthos, and I feel like, I mean, is this like a poor man's singer? You do have the central chronograph. None of this is a cheap watch. I mean, it's still pricey between $27.90 and $37.90. $27.90 being the pre-order price. But this is a very, very interesting watch for Aquastar. Aquastar are one of these Phoenix brands, right? And this kind of looks a little bit different from what you're used to seeing from their releases. But yeah, the 42 millimeter case diameter, just over 50 millimeter case thickness, but a nice proportion with the 47 millimeter lug to lug. Semi-gloss black dial applied hours with a high quality dense super luminova in the beige. The caliber 1 MPS, and it's a purpose-built Aquastar exclusive monopusher essential 90-minute chronographs made with Le Jour having a presence here with a lot of the releases, of course, Le Jour and Citizen, and then you have Arnold Sun being part of that group, so they have that in the movement of the new watch. And yeah, so Le Jour definitely getting their name out there. This is limited to 300 pieces. I think it's a good looking watch. Not pretty good. Marceau is saying I'd recommend the wrist-mounted Scuba Pro G2 dive computer for sure, right? Chill Badger saying that Singer is not the most legible watch I've seen, especially under the English channel. Hey, I agree. That's why the Singers, especially those racing or driving inspired Kronos that they're typically famous for releasing. It's really like a more of a piece of art, right? But I'm sure functionality has great functionality, but as a diver, yeah, a little tough. Agreed. Moving forward, and the Oxen Jr. Day-night watcher. Now, look, I'm intrigued by Oxen Jr. Right? I mean, I love the way they tell time in their design and days, right, and moon phases and whatnot. So this is actually a little bit different from what I typically see. Now, no Oxen Jr. expert, but this kind of looks a little bit different, and it looks a little bit more like, if I'm gonna get an Oxen Jr., like this is more like the one I would get. This is like a little bit more mainstream, right? But I do appreciate the quirkiness of them. This is a 40 millimeter case diameter with 11 millimeter case thickness and grade 5 titanium case. Dial in dark blue, which changes the colors. And the functions, really interesting and very, very cool. A lot of functions here, although you can't really see it at first blush, right? The length of day and nighttime for selected location in the northern or southern hemisphere, sunset, sunrise, solar noon, moon phase, sun and moon position in the sky, date, hour, and minute. Very, very cool watch. Really, really like this one. It's powered by the Ulysse Nardin UM320 base caliber and with additional astronomical complication design by Ludwig Oeschlen. 48-hour power reserve, just over $10,000 Swiss francs. Very, very cool watch. I really like this one. And hey, look, that's it. That's it for this week. Again, I'm seeing more and more releases coming out in anticipation, I think, or in conjunction with the Watches and Wonders. I think a lot of these brands who are not going to necessarily be showcasing Watches and Wonders are trying to get their new pieces out there. So I look forward to seeing this week what's coming up, and the week before Watches and Wonder, and see what releases we're going to see. Very, very excited. During that week of Watches and Wonder, maybe have to do like a daily recap because there's going to be so many releases, and we're going to be inundated with a lot of them. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Have a great Easter. Have a great rest of your weekend, and have a great beginning of the week. Really appreciate the support as always. And I'll see you guys next week for another recap. Take care.